Hi, everybody. So today I'd like to talk about the topic of the path of the mystic. And what I mean about the path of the mystic, it's really a journey of self-discovery. It's a journey of being able to see patterns in the world, be able to see how everything in life is connected and interlinked through nature, through humanity, through every living thing, much like the Force. And the path of the mystic is being able to see that underlying connection and that underlying pattern in life that connects all of us. And it's that divine spark that's within each of us that we have to discover along the way. And usually that takes experience, that takes adversity. Sometimes it's through the loss of a loved one. Sometimes it's through just mental health, whether it be depression or adversity. It comes in different forms, but it's a journey of being able to step up to the challenge and overcome some of our fears to be able to realize our true potential. And I'm realizing this now along my journey of writing my story, that there's many ways to approach how you perceive your story. Who do you think you are? Do you think you're the hero? Do you think you're the mystic? Do you think that you're the mage or the wizard? We all have a story that we tell ourselves, and while traditionally speaking, our story and our life may not fit into the cookie cutter plot of a fantasy novel or even an autobiography, we still have a story that we can tell. And I think that it's important to remember that we each have a story to share to the world, and we each have a message and something inspiring to share to others. And really, this discussion that I'm going to share with you is just really, how can you share your experiences and your story to the world? And I think it really starts off with what inspired you as a child. What was the thing that made you want to be a dreamer, made you want to be able to be creative? What made you be able to understand like what skills and pursuits you wanted to have when you were younger? Start from there. And then along the way, you can kind of impart and share some of your experiences in life. What sort of adversity and what sort of trials have you faced in your life? And I think part of the journey is trying to understand different perspectives and philosophies that may be in sync with your own life journey. And in some ways, organically, you'll be able to discover that you may have your own unique version of life to tell that may not be shared or imparted to other people. For me, I think my message is really the message of being able to find connection, and connection through spirituality, and connection through the path of the mystical path. And I know that sometimes the idea of mysticism or anything mystical usually is in the realm of fiction. But I can tell you very much that the path of the mystic is a real path. It's a real path towards spiritual connection with nature, a spiritual connection with human beings, a spiritual connection with the divine and with God and with the divine spark within you. And I think that it's important to remember that we each carry a certain degree of magic within us that we can share with the world. And I think one of the ways that you can do that is through writing, through telling your story, through making a film, through crafting music. There's various ways to be able to share your talents with the world. And it all starts with just simply a notebook and a pen, and being able to write down what sort of things inspire you, what ideas inspire you, what sort of philosophies really stir up and motivate you to contemplate and have a discourse about what does life mean? What's the meaning of life? And I think it's important to remember that, you know, that each of us carry our own perspective on what life means to us. But ultimately, it's about being able to have an open discourse about some of the patterns and changes that occur within your everyday life and your own experiences, and being able to apply those patterns and those meanings uh, within your life to see if there's an actual story that you can tell, that there's an actual, you'll find that once you actually write down your story, your own experiences, that there actually may be a theme or a narrative that you could be able to write your own story, be able to write your own book. And, sometimes it takes, just writing down experiences where you went on an adventure, you went on a road trip, you were able to have an experience at a job, or some experience fellowshipping in your church. Any kind of experience that you've had or encounter that you've had in your life that stirs up an inspirational experience. Sometimes it could just be simply researching something online that sparks a creative idea within you. And so in some ways we each have a story to tell. And I think that that story can be relative to each individual, but I think that what's important to remember is that there's a theme in your life, that there's a message, that there is a resounding message that can be shared to others about how you've been able to overcome adversity and get through life. And it's maybe not even necessarily about overcoming adversity. Sometimes it's just being able to endure life, being able to know what sort of skills you've gained from being able to just take one day at a time. Being able to talk about your mental health, how you experience the world through that lens, and being able to understand like how you've been able to cope. Try to write down in your journal some of your own life experiences and how that's changed you. What sort of insights did you gain from your experiences of anything? It could be a creative experience, it could be an experience of adversity. What did you learn from those experiences? And write them down, because you may find that there may be some sort of unique message that you can impart unto other people from the experiences that you've had, because we each have our own unique path that we take in this life. And I think for me, it's discovering that there is magic in the world, that there is a certain pattern and connection to all things. And that pattern and connection between all life and nature has a very spiritual and mystical essence to it. We live in a day and age of almost scientific reductionism, where everything can be broken down to its small parts. And along the way, people kind of lose the essence of the spirit of what makes something alive, what makes something, a part of an ecosystem. Take consideration a tree. A tree is very much alive. A tree has a spirit. It grows, it expands, just like we do. And it grows and expands because it receives water, it receives light, receives its own nutrients to grow and be able to have its roots go down into the ground and have its branches reach up high into the heavens. Well, in some ways, that's who we are. We try to ground ourselves, we try to have roots, and our roots are our ancestors. And it's really about matter of grounding us here on this earth, but we are as ourselves are human beings who are intermediaries between, our experiences on earth, but also aspiring to reach towards the heavens, whether that's in a literal sense with space exploration, or simply being able to transcend our spiritual limitations, transcend our physical limitations, and be able to perceive the world in a far more expansive and spiritual lens. And I think that along the way, you can realize that the universe is a macrocosm, and we are a microcosm of the universe. Each of us are our own universe. We all have that divine fire, that divine spark within us that can ignite and inspire other people. And I just wanted to share that with all of you. Thank you very much.